Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Steuben County Board of Commissioners for Monday, May 19th, 2025. Item on our agenda this morning is Ms. Erin Shipley.
Good morning. A couple of things on the agenda for today. The first one, first and second one, there would be amendments to our active and retiree insurance plan. Up until this year, PHP would be giving us this really big document every single year. However, they have moved to just doing amendments if there were any changes to the plans. So the amendment number 1 for the active employees, it shows you what's going to be removed and what's going to be replaced. The main thing is that retirees over the age of 65 will no longer be eligible for the plan. So that is listed in both the active and also in the retiree plan. The other change is the prescription drugs, where the mandatory mail order after 3 fills at retail is removed as well. So then on the retiree one, you will see that change for the over age of 65 is removed and they're no longer eligible for the plan. Then all other language remains the same in that in both of those plans.
Second. That's for both of them? Just the first one. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by aye. Aye. Aye.
And then the other item I'm on the agenda for, just basically approval to move forward with some edits for the job that is currently the Assistant EMS Director and Training Officer. There are some changes that needed to be done to that job description because of how the structure is going to be changing in that department.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by aye. Aye.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much.
You won that, yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
Making sure we didn't change anything.
Oh.
Stronger movement.
Yeah.
I think
They just finished marriage.
Ready?
Oh, my goodness.
What?
Good morning.
Good morning. Sorry, I was running up here. I didn't realize that I was on. So I have one item on the agenda before you today. It's for an update and pretty much brand new food code ordinance that would affect Steuben County establishments, food establishments. So I do have a background for you. I had to type it out because it's been quite a journey for the health department figuring out what was going on. I'll give you a brief overview. At the state level, the food code that they were using was 2004. So very, very old. Most states are using the contemporary version, which is 2019. On April 13th, the governor was presented unexpectedly to all of us at the local level, a brand new food code that would affect state and the locals on how we inspected and regulated food establishments. It was signed April 13th, the first day he got it, and it went into effect April 16th of 2025. So 3 days later, it went into effect. It invalidated our current food code that we have at the local level. So that obviously led to some scrambling. When you look at the content compared to what we were using, there's 30% new content. We cannot enforce it. We can only educate on that. That means that 70% that is still standard going forward. We can regulate and enforce and cite and work with them on getting corrections done. The new content, the 30%, can be enforced and cited starting January 1st. So we have this kind of gap in
30% of brand new stuff that we're only educating and not signing on. But it gives us a period of education for the current and expanding retail food establishments. And hopefully we can get everybody on board with that as well. So for most people, everybody knows that we regulate food establishments. So these are just some stats for you guys to understand what this would look like at the county level. Right now, we have between 175 and 200 food establishments that operate in Steuben County. We have a population based on past numbers of about 100 temporary food establishments that set up in a tent or at a festival, something like that. They break down that day and that's how they're operating. We have one bed and breakfast in Fremont, Indiana. And then we have 10 catering permits that work in Steuben County and use their restaurant as a commissary location. And unfortunately, there were some changes that were made during the IGA session this year related to mobile foods. So that is going to be completely morphing into a new, I would say, framework. The infrastructure is not being done yet. But what that means is the health department here will still have to do the inspections for them, but the state is going to be issuing the permit. So it's a mandate that the state will say a mobile food unit is permitted, and then they can only ask us if we would like to inspect them. We have no jurisdiction over actually conducting that inspection. We can't ask them unless they ask us. So it changes the landscape of food safety when we're talking about mobile foods. Any questions so far?
What are your enforcements on food establishments?
When we talk about enforcement, it would be complaint-based. So me as a citizen, if I went to a mobile food and something occurred that I did not like or I thought was unsafe practice, I would have to submit a complaint to the local health department. And then we would investigate upon delivering or getting that complaint. So the way that it's going to work is annually they're going to have to for a state level license, and they have to get 2 inspections done annually, but they can request the health department that they want to do them. Now there's this emphasis that if you're based in Steuben County, then you should be asking, should be not required. So that means, hey, I'm going to LaGrange to do an event in Chipshe. I can have the health department there request it, and I can request it the day I'm setting up. No forewarning or nothing. So there's no way to schedule these. There's no way to know what's going to be happening because it's based on the actual mobile food that's doing it. So if we have a slammed week of 4th of July, we potentially, hypothetically, could have 8 mobile vendors show up and say, we need inspections. And there's a brand new form, there's a brand new submission portal that we have not seen yet. So there's a lot of stuff up in the air. And they haven't really told us what that's going to look like. Are we going to submit the complaints after we investigate them to the state portal? Or is a state food person going to come in and do a review after we've done that initial investigation? I don't have a good answer for you on that one yet.
So if it's something completely egregious, you don't have the ability just to shut them down or disapprove of it.
I would have to review the law. If it's something that is an imminent threat to health and safety, most likely we could, because it can be considered an imminent threat to health and safety. If it's something routine like not good hand washing practices or not good temperature control, it would be something where we would have to do an investigation, provide education, give them a window of opportunity to correct that mistake, and then move forward from there. But again, it's not going to match what a retail food establishment, a brick and mortar is going to do. So there's a lot of up in the air right now when it comes to mobile foods.
Thank you.
Now, I didn't get into the nuts and bolts of all that has changed. This is for light reading for later. So this is some of the changes that have occurred in that 30% new. And I have one for you.
They provided 30% more funding to help.
I wish, that would be wonderful. No, we did not get any additional funding.
How much did they, actually cut your funding?
493,000. Based on current numbers, I'm not sure what else they're gonna try to take away. But we're moving forward because we do need something in place that would give us the ability to do our job when it comes to food protection and retail food establishments. And when it comes to the actual ordinance that was submitted, this is a template that we tailored to Steuben County. So most counties in Indiana are going to be using this going forward. It's going to look pretty standard. Obviously, there are a couple tweaks that we had to do, like changing the county name and some other stuff, but it's pretty standard.
One second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
John, just, yeah, it's first reading. It seems like everything's already supposed to be in effect right now, right? And have nothing in April.
Yes. Yeah, so the state food code is in effect. This ordinance provides the infrastructure so the locals can go out and do their job.
So probably the quicker we get it done, the better.
Motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
Any discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Motion for second, third readings.
Second.
Any discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Two more points to bring up, just for the record. The mobile food permit that we charged at Steuben County before 2025 was $50 annually. The new state level permit is gonna be $40. So, yeah. And then, no fees related to the retail food ordinance passed are gonna be changing. Those are in a different fee schedule. So we're not planning on changing those at this time. Thank goodness. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Morning, Sheriff.
Good morning, Commissioners. Auditor.
Good morning.
Morning. Oh, boy. So I come before you with a W.W. Williams tower site contract. This one is set in a term of 3 years for generator services and management. In the proposal, you can see for which site, what dates, and what they'll do. Continuing. We have nothing on 911 service agreements. 1222. So I'm looking for approval for that.
This is all gonna be paid up front.
Yeah. If you would like me to, they just sent a 3-year. We could do it yearly if you're more comfortable with that. But at this point, with these, I feel like we have so many contracts in regards to the towers, which we do. We've got so many different hands in there with generators, tower building, tower lease, equipment. You've got, so many different ones. So clearing these up with a 3-year contract sure makes me happy. We won't have to visit it for a few years. Knock on wood.
Approved.
Now, all in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
You did say that's all upfront, right, for the full 3 years?
Yeah. The total of 30,903, yes. Roughly 10 a year. And the second thing I got, I think, Gabby, they dropped off my food contract, speaking of food, the health department, for the jail on Wednesday night of last week. So I missed the turn-in date. I think she gave you copies there, looking for an approval. The prices went up. I printed off last year's with references. The single inmate meal, just a standard meal, was $2.40, where we're currently at the end of the month. They'll go to $2.49, so each tray is going up 9 cents. Our kosher meals, our specialty religious meals, they went from $7.05 to $7.31 per dispensary. And our medical and snacks, those would be pregnancy, diabetics, they only went up 5 cents from $1.35 to $1.40. Those would be during the nighttime when we pass those out. Our pricing, I'm actually very happy with that. I'm surprised that of where it's at right now. I would have thought we'd have seen a bigger jump. But that's a 1 year, and now is the time. So I'm pretty happy with that. It looks like we've got enough funding. I know each year it's always based off of population. So if I get busy summer, I'll be at the end of the year asking for a little money probably. But with that being where the rise is, just that shortfall, that short amount, small amount, I think will be pretty good. I've been relatively 20,000 under by the time we get to the end of the year. I think this year shouldn't be as much. Again, knock on wood that we don't have a terrible summer. Our population explodes. But I was very happy with that.
Second. Any further discussion?
Hearing none, all in favor, signify by aye. Aye.
And Will, can I get you to sign? I didn't bring the signature. They did this to us last year. Can I get you to sign that and then I'll sign under it and share back the contract to the auditors? There's a signature line there with the prices on it.
Abby's got it.
Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful.
That one's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. And then I'll just sign under your name if you don't mind, and then I'll send that back to you, Abby. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Right. Take care.
Hello. Hi. Good, how are you? Let's see, there's a couple, I have a copy of a presentation I did like 4 years ago. Or, yeah. Little seen it.
I think that's.
So,
Kind of an idea of what we're going to do each.
Would you like me to have somebody go make copies?
Yeah.
I can email it too.
Would you mind, can you email it to Abby?
Yeah, yeah. Some of it might be a little outdated because it's 4 or 5 years ago. But, yeah. So I guess I'm here to find out what my rent will be for this summer at the beach to do SUP 101 lakes.
it's at what?
120 to pay for the utilities. It's really not a moneymaker for me, it's more nostalgia. The building was empty for 20 years. I grew up on Crooked Lake. I was born in Crooked Lake, I died at Crooked Lake. And so that was something that we did as a kid as we went to the beach to get ice cream. Family members would drop us off at the beach, we'd go up, play and get ice cream. So I walked by that building every day for a long time, and that's when I first approached the commissioners years ago, I think 7 or 8 years ago now, about moving my paddleboard business there and then,
Been there quite a while.
yeah, and then doing the ice cream. We try to keep the ice cream all under $3. The majority of the people and kids that come to the beach don't have lake property. There are more people that are in the community, so we try to keep the cost low. It's not really a moneymaker. It's more of a nostalgia for myself and my parents.
Those people going to our public, the county's beach.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got any of your recommendations?
I do not. Does a great job out there, though.
Thank you.
Oh, right. See, I did a match, all we did was what? What we did here.
What did we do? 2.5. 2.5. Stay consistent.
That's what I'm mistaken, second, it's not gonna, dollars, but
Yeah.
at least it keeps us having a large gap in the future, so. 15%.
Make it 120.
123.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
There.
That's fine. Yep, that's you. Yep.
That motion.
Yeah, I'll make a motion for 123.
And you said to email that to Abby.
Second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by aye.
I was looking at this and there have been so many adjustments throughout the years for this. If I have Abby go through and restructure it, have you guys look at it and then get it out to Kelly and Scott, it'll clean it up quite a bit. Okay. Is that Scott and Kelly, is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Scott, good morning.
Morning. First thing on the agenda is the request or suggested fee changes for the event center camping in Linesville. We had it suggested, I think you guys got the copy of that, we kind of cleaned it up a little bit side by side.
We already set 26.
We have not, no. I know the last meeting we talked about maybe doing 26 or 27. Because we have bookings already in 26.
If we decided to do something, you could honor any commitments already in the near future.
Most of those already we have booked, they've already put a deposit in, so that's fine.
Yeah.
The only thing that did change was the kilowatts per hour underneath the camping. Because I know at the end of the year that NIST was planning on raising those charges up. Must be like. That would probably be the only thing that might have to change it for the year.
It's good to give you any thoughts on what that rate increase might look like.
No, they said that they're projected to go up at the end of this year. I've been trying to keep an eye on that to see if there's any updates, so.
Or just have that in the contract, is set to, it's your rate.
Just be the verbiage on it.
Right.
Probably come up with that.
That way if they change it,
They can sign that contract for the next year until March roughly, so that the fees will hopefully be changed by then. You can put that in the contracts.
right?
Still, if we put some type of disclosure in there, say rates are subject to change based on utility provider rate structures or something.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that might help with instead of trying to guess.
Then you wouldn't have to, yeah, you can say, here's our estimate, but
It's a huge jump. That way, in case there was a huge jump. We're not, paying for money on electricity.
Did I miss something? Is this for 26 or 27? Because paper says 27
that's what I asked.
and it's 26.
But I-
Are you still talking?
We're still talking.
Okay, sorry, I want to make sure that I didn't miss it.
I think those changes could be easily effective for 26.
I would agree.
And then you hold steady on anyone who is already in their book.
Yes. Honor the pricing.
And the kilowatt hour is not gonna change until the first year.
Well, they're gonna try, I think they're looking at changing it by the end of this year.
Yeah.
So which by that
So
time, we already be out, we already have our, license out to use already, so.
Yeah. It shouldn't change 25.
I think they're changing it for the 25.
We might consider looking at doing a multi-year. So here's what it is in 26, here's what it is in 27, here's what it is in 28. So that if he's booking that far in advance, that if they're booking it for an event 2028, we're charging 2028 fees for them, not 5 or 6.
Yeah.
If you go with it, stay with that percentage rate increase every year, you can project that out. Just whether that percentage is gonna be the right one, make sure that we're not losing money.
I know
At
those,
least it gives you an opportunity for that. If somebody were to book today for 2 years out, you're charging with a higher rate. If it ends up being a higher rate even than what we projected, at least you're still a little closer to it, and you hold the fees based on what they were at the time of the booking.
That'd be, yeah.
I know it hasn't changed at least in the last 4 years. It's been the 0.20 for.
They're talking about the whole.
Just talking about the whole rate structure.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to set to the rates that he has proposed for 27, make those for 26, and then go ahead and do a 2027 at an additional.
Yeah, well, you've got conference rooms at 4% increase, you can probably just take everything to 2.5. Or 20, that. Are the conference rooms being, in high demand, or are they being used?
They're getting used a lot more, yes.
Okay. Yeah, so. And you want 4% just because of the, we were kind of breaking even or losing a little money on us, so around 4% on that. That should get us to where we want to be, and then if we want 2.5% at 2027, 2.5 for 28, do 4% for 26, and 2.5% across the board, 27, 28. Yeah.
Then on the
Make
conference
the
room,
motion. Let's give you the direction to do that, and then bring it back so we can.
And then get with Don on the verbiage for the control light off. Let's go.
So that way you have a rate for 26, 27. Use the 2 and it. Set your rates as what you think they need to be, so we'll do that
for the next 3 years.
4% for 26 on, say, the conference rooms. And then going forward, yeah, reduce 2.5% as your factor.
So take your 2027 projected sheet, make
Make
that
the 2027 to 2026 numbers,
yeah, and then
and then project out 27, 28 with the increases.
Then the only thing on the conference room was we never charge for the kitchen if there, because a lot of people come in on the conference room in the kitchen. So should we charge an extra fee for that? I put down $100 extra.
yeah, because there's cleaning and stuff involved. Yeah, that's fine.
Right, extra usage.
Right.
Yep. Wear and tear.
No, and also for, not just for the conference, room, we can do that across the board too, with the camping fees and everything.
Yes. Excuse me. Something.
So I'll work on that. Next, you guys gonna move on with that then, or? Okay. Next thing I had was the tax have been paid in full. So I would like to have your permission to try to, instead of looking at the next section on the south side of the beach, install those. It's gonna take a while to go through DNR, and it takes quite a bit to get their permits on that, so. And also get them to,
How many additional spaces are you looking at then?
Not, I'm gonna say about half of what we have. I'd have to measure again first to make sure we have enough room on there, but at least 33 at the minimum. And currently we have 84 on the section we have right now.
Spaces. A lot of spaces.
Got them full. You probably have people wanting.
I'm gonna take 6 people off that were not campers that lived on the lake because we had more campers living on that dock.
So campers get first priority.
Yes, we have that priority. So that brings us down to 33. Steps. So if we do a minimum of 33 with this new one, and take everybody off this year.
Oh, so we're not really adding any boat traffic. We're just, okay. We're just adding those slips.
Cleaning it up.
Okay.
So that way there'd be no shore, because I know that was a discussion last year that.
I think it's important to note that we're not necessarily increasing, adding 33 slips.
Right.
We're just moving the slips to.
Moving them offshore onto the dock.
Get your plan and your pricing put together.
Yeah.
We'll see if council's accepting of it.
Great payback on the last time you did it. Kudos to you.
So the last thing I have is just Crooked Lake Association is donating the reupholster of 12-hour chairs, which is $420. So
Oh, well,
so we got them, they're in the works right now getting reupholstered and paid for that. So
very good.
at the event center.
Great, thank you, Scott. Thank you. Question?
Yeah. Who's paying for those again?
Crooked Lake Association.
Six 420.
Yes.
Can we go back to the rate?
Sure.
Do you guys want a motion on that?
He's gonna bring us back to the rate schedules.
For each one of it and then you will? Okay, thank you.
Let's see what they actually are. Morning.
Morning.
All right, first thing I have for you is claim number 44 for preliminary engineering in the amount of $400 to DLZ for the County Road 100 North, 200 West roundabout project.
Motion for claim number 44.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye. Thank you. On updates for capital projects, I have some work I have to give back to Mr. Stuckey for our condemnation hearing. We're still set for a start for small structure number 7 for June 2nd. We're working with Brooks Construction on when we're going to start our community crossing 2025 paving project. Could start as early as this week if everything gets lined up. Our spring striping program is completed. For general operations, we are running crews where we're patching with hot mix asphalt and days that we can both have good weather and the asphalt plants are open. Got good weather today, just can't get into an asphalt plant, so we're not hot mix patching today, but we will be. This is what we're doing when we have time. And I give you a list of the roads that we can prioritize that we're on. We did start mowing today. Today, typically we wanted to start a month earlier, but between weather and running patch crews, we didn't have crew available. So they are out mowing today. Our brusher is out. We were able to coordinate with Branch County on adding a new no truck signs ahead for County Road 450 West up in Branch County. And building painters are scheduled to show up today to start prepping the building for paint.
Must be colors then, huh? Nice.
You pick the color now?
about.
Color either, I was told we didn't color. So I'll ask that question. I don't pick colors.
I don't pick colors either. Thank you, Chip.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chip.
Austin, good morning.
Morning, everyone. Got a few things this morning. First one, the invoice from Delta T. It's a replacement of a transformer on boiler number 2 for the community center. Due to the age of these boilers, it's not uncommon for parts to fail due to wear. So that's $756, bulk of the price being the actual transformer. I'm requesting that be paid from the commissioner building maintenance.
Move to approve.
Further? None in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next one I got is an estimate from Atlas, the amount of $33,773. This is Atlas's company. They do masonry repair. This building has needed some work for a while. Exterior, there's spots where brick is about to fall out, so. This is for one side, it's for the, I believe it's the west. Yes, the west elevation. We've used Atlas in the past for the community center. They've always done good work. And this is just one phase. And once they get started on this work, they're gonna use the lift and be able to tell further extensive repair on other sides. They just help provide us an estimate. That's. We got water seeping in through the brickwork. It's coming in inside. I'd add this building's almost 150 years old.
He does have a life. Most of the community center, but between the two projects, he's looking at.
And the other work too,
So we're gonna,
the other work that needs completed,
here for this building?
that's another quote. That's after this one.
Oh, okay.
But the other work for that building, I'd like to put that in the budget for next year. That way it's planned for.
Right. Oh, I see.
That's my question is where are we at with this building and our future plans, and do we want to continue to put money in it or not?
Well, what's the future, 10 years, 5, 10 years? So will this amount of money at least,
I guess I'm looking at this amount of money that it's just gonna, more or less, they're gonna tighten up a few loose brick, and then it's gonna take them that to look over the building to see what it really needs.
Yeah.
This side of the building, they were able to get out on the patio and look at everything. The other side, just, they need a lift to be able to really give a good estimate. For the west side though, this estimate would cover everything as far as brickwork goes. It would get rid of, or it would repair all the tuck points and ensure nothing seeps in anymore. I mean, this building we're standing in is not even 100 years old, and it's got extensive repair on this building as well. Now, the old sheriff's office, 147 years old, so.
Is it worth, would it be worth the time first to look at the community center project? And they'll bring a lift in for that also.
Yeah, so when I talked to,
And have them do inspection, complete inspection on the other building to determine whether or not we want to really invest in that property or not.
Get a whole number.
A whole number?
Yeah.
Get a true idea of what we're looking at.
I know right now they're booked out. He said he was looking to start the community center about September, beginning of September. And if this was granted permission, he was wanting to do both buildings at the same time.
But at the same time, we do have water coming in.
That's what well, this is on the west side, so when we drive in rain, we've got, this will at least help with that issue.
Disregard, it's still gonna be September, right?
Yes,
So,
that's the amount of work they have, and as soon as they could.
They only want to do it.
Yeah.
Hey, my thoughts being that I know there's been discussion on what to do going forward with community corrections. Any solution will not happen this year. A solution may be able to be put forth next year, but you are probably into 27 before something actually happens. So it's worth putting $33,000 into a building to at least get us 2 years out,
I think,
is the question I think needs to be answered.
I think 2 years out that would be it. Even a lofty goal with that. Yeah.
And it might be.
You're gonna reduce probably the majority of the issue, the current issue with the water, addressing that west face. I'm sorry. Said you're gonna probably cure the majority of the issues with that, just addressing the west face as far as the water infiltration.
On the west side, yes, but there's water coming in on the north side as well. Problem is, you fix it one place, water is gonna find another route.
Did I look at that correctly, Kelly? 135,000 set aside.
There's that, and then there's another 15, which I don't know why they were separated out. So there's a total of
So we
150.
did budget enough funding for building maintenance. Masonry, it was originally set aside just for this building. But sounds like it would be enough.
It's
Extend life.
It's gonna take a bit of work. This isn't even work that needs to be done inside to the walls where this water's coming in.
Motion, questions?
Hopefully we'd agree to this today, if we have no escape clause. Before September, we decide to change, go a different direction.
I mean, they're gonna come here to do this. So I would assume if there's an issue on another building, they just would. They're. I'm gonna hear kids do that building. Yes,
I'm gonna just ask this, is there a motion?
well. So the price though is based on us doing this building as well, because we're obviously in the deficit, I want to do both together. Right?
That would be, that's where I was gonna go.
Yeah. So I will make a motion to approve both Atkins quotes for this meeting center and for the community corrections building.
Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
That covers the second one then, right?
Yes. Okay.
Have a good day. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So I even got it for the total. I added everything in, right, 121,879.
The other business. First item is payroll for May 16th in the amount of $595,545.77.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Ordinance 1049 establishing capitalization and investment policy.
Okay, so Amy's been on me for a while about this.
Yeah.
We didn't have one. There was some procedures that were followed with this, but we never added ordinance for it. So we got some samples from a couple other counties, and she's been working with Darren from Data Pit Stop and putting everything together. Once the ordinance is established, we can start working with the departments, and everything will at one point in time be able to be entered on that Data Pit Stop because it's web-based. So they'll be able to input their inventory, their assets, all of that. And then the auditor's office will be responsible for checking that, making sure everything is correct, sending information back to them if there is an inaccuracy or something needs corrected, to try and get all of our inventory and our assets up to where they need to be and being reported on an annual basis. Or biannual. And if you want detail on it, I can't have Abby come in here and tell me exactly. Did I say Abby? I meant Amy, come in and go over how the Data Pit Stop program works.
Did I read this right? It's only items that are in excess of $5,000.
So that is the one thing that needs to be determined right now. What dollar amount do you guys want on that? But it does the commission board want for that?
In other words, do you want every computer? Do you want every chair, every microphone, every?
Just gonna ask how many more people she can hire in her office to track all this stuff.
Yeah.
Or at least. to
Well,
get
that's why the departments will be entering their stuff.
Yeah.
We were gonna try a couple small departments to start with and see how it flows. You know, she showed it to me. I didn't think it was that difficult, but I've been in there also. You know, I've played around in there.
I just, yeah, tied input is gonna be the most.
Does the state have a recommendation as to what they're looking at in terms of the values that we're keeping?
I do not know, but that is something that I can ask.
It just seems very tedious if you get it, that number too low.
Yeah, it would be.
Well, and also there's gonna be a difference between inventory and assets also. So,
And there's depreciation.
yes. I believe that program takes all that into consideration also.
It automatically kicks it out.
I don't know if it'll kick it out, but I think there was like a percentage where it takes it down. Well, it might kick it out if it gets it down to zero. Yeah,
I like the concept, I like the idea.
so I'm just gonna say anything that you want me to specifically look into or have Amy look into further, just let me know what's on your list and I'm happy to do that. So we put in 5,000. I think that dollar amount was the recommendation from Darren, but not necessarily from the state.
Is state requiring us for any reason?
I have not been told that it hasn't come up in our reviews or anything. But it is something that we are required to keep track of in the auditor's office. And we've never had an ordinance that was just a procedure that, prior to Amy, it was Gail, just a procedure that she followed. So they would keep track as someone bought a new vehicle, it got approved in here, we would make sure the information got to the right person in the auditor's office. So she would be keeping a log, ledger, whatever they were keeping. And we do have to report all this stuff on our annual financial report. So Chip always gives us all the highway stuff, and then we're responsible for putting in the remaining numbers for everything else for the county when we report our annual financial, and that does get uploaded to Gateway. And I am also very happy if you guys, we can table this. If you would like to see the program also, it's very simple to pull up. We can set something up so you guys can see that also.
It's an ordinance, so it has to have 3 readings.
Mhm.
We'll start the process and then look at it again next month. And look at the processes. I kind of see this as a useful tool from a financial standpoint. You know, and more for council probably than us.
Nice to know what we have.
Yeah, so you're looking at, you're essentially putting together a very rough balance sheet showing assets. So when, council is looking at a bond issue that's requested by the commissioners, okay, you're looking at assets and liabilities.
Yep.
It puts a little perspective to it.
See it as being a useful tool, like, see it being a lot of work to get it.
It'd be very tedious to get it up and running. Once it's up, maintaining it, still some work, but not near as much.
Obviously, more departments than others, but yeah.
Right, yeah.
There's no time frame or anything that we put on this on the ordinance. Did it all have to be entered this year, or it's just a work in progress, or?
Well, if it's an ordinance in place, it's something that we're likely to be audited for, then, correct? We're following our procedures.
Correct. We'll have to make sure that we're following the procedures, but also, like I said, we'll be starting with a couple of the small ones and then work our way up to a couple of the big ones. I mean, I would hope to have it implemented fully by the end of the year. It is very aggressive. If we don't, we at least have it started.
We need to state that in this ordinance to make sure that we're not out of compliance with our own ordinance.
Okay.
There would be, when you pass it, you're probably going to be out of compliance. And then you're going to work towards that. Or if you want to see that asset list built first and then pass it.
Would that any department head possibly say No, I don't want to do it then, once we have to ordinance that or not.
I see it as a tool to get it done.
Yeah.
Don, is there any time frame regarding an ordinance and its passage? Can we do a first reading now and then do a second reading 60 days, 90 days out?
You have to take it up and it has to be on your agenda next, but you can table.
Table it.
But we can keep pushing it out.
There's no magic number, I don't think, so.
Can we set a date for the ordinance to take effect?
Sure. Should be in the ordinance.
Would you like to? Okay, well, for now, until you see what it's gonna look like, or we can pass the first reading and work on the creation of it.
For first reading.
I'll second.
The second on ordinance 1049. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Here's a instruction for you to continue it.
Mhm.
And we'll have to take action on it, either continue it or do an official meeting. And continue to work on that structuring of it.
I will have her confirm if there is a state recommendation for it.
I'd start with 5,000, but if it looks like that's gonna be a teens number, I can see it's rating.
Okay. And I can have her always start with our office, do go completely through our office, get ours done.
Claims. Questions?
With the approved claims. $455,460.37, and then items A, E.
Any further discussion on those? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Kelly brought to us the budget agenda for
Approval and adding an additional
There it is.
meeting date. So you guys are in blue.
we had, you mean an additional meeting date other than the ones we already have scheduled? The ones that are proposed.
Other than what we currently have scheduled. So typically, these run with the commissioners' meeting dates. So I have June 16th. We have to give the departments enough time to get their stuff put together and let us get it entered. But they can also then, your departments, and I listed them there, I don't believe we missed any, would come in on the 16th and present. You guys can give them, just so much time, they can present to you guys. Following that, then I need the 3 commissioners to sit down with the auditor's office and go through your budget and then all the departmental budgets. And so the June 23rd date is the additional date that I'm looking to get approved.
I think that works out.
It's what?
Just during the fair.
You think it's gonna take us more than one day of 9 to 4? The schedule for the 23rd and the 24th, similar to what council does.
just in case.
Yeah, just in case. Because we can always peel it back. But on the 23rd, if we don't get it done, we can't just all of a sudden have a meeting on the 24th. Does that work?
That works, if it works for you guys.
23rd and 24th. That way you can advertise it as such. We can just peel it back. Okay, motion for that. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by aye. Aye.
I was the Andy Denmark, is that correct?
Rick, you had a question that someone brought to your attention.
Yeah, as a constituent that, would like us to revisit our policy on golf carts on county roads. I have not responded other than to say we'd talk about it. But I believe the state's statute on that, a golf cart is in-state statute as a vehicle to be used on golf courses and on county roads. I'm correct in
Depends on the golf cart.
that.
I mean, you could get golf carts that are street
Street legal?
that have turn signals and seat belts and so on and so forth, but in the past, when this has been presented, the sheriff has been adamantly opposed to preventing golf carts on county roads. So a discussion probably ought to include him too.
I told this constituent I'd at least bring it up, so we could talk about it.
Well, feel free to have a discussion with the sheriff to see if his opinion on it has changed. It would be him and his staff enforcing.
Yeah.
For sure.
I've discussed it with him. I mean, he's open to. I think you could restrict it to roads 30 miles per hour and under.
I guess we ought to have a sit-down discussion with the sheriff and see what we can come up with, see if it's feasible.
I think you got to get into the weeds a little bit if you do something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I know that's what they do down in Florida, but it's.
Yeah, it was a older couple that, you know, would just like to be able to get in and go down to the local eatery or something and not have to jump in their vehicles. But it takes in county roads.
Okay. Let's have a discussion with the sheriff. How's that?
For another one.
Sure.
Phone call from a person soliciting information so they could do a insurance quote for us. We've talked about putting some of that information out to get some different quotes. We wanted to make that an official action.
I was gonna say, in the past, you've always had us made a decision to say that we weren't accepting any to help your office. I think if you do it, then you have to open it up to everyone and no one specific.
Yes.
Would that be a fair statement?
They put out some specific information that they would want to be able to do this quote.
What type of insurance? I mean, is it our liability insurance? Is it our health insurance?
Health and prescription. I think this is more for prescription.
Here,
So would this be just for insurance companies? Are you looking for a new broker or what is it exactly? Because, you know, we have the medical, then we have the ancillary, we have the vision, the life insurance, the dental, the pharmacy benefit manager portion. So the broker is whom goes out to market for us to get those, you know, options for the commission board to review with regard to networks, the stop loss, because we are self-funded, so that's a different ballgame as opposed to fully insured. So there's just a lot of different caveats there, so it would need to be spelled out specifically to avoid confusion.
That could be something that was simply as you present a program to us. And we'll decide which one we like.
I think this was more, from the conversation I had, more toward the prescription side of it.
I think we're probably best having it all under one.
It all have to be in one umbrella.
One umbrella though, similar to what we have now. So you would be actually seeking a different broker for the most part.
We did carve the prescription aspect out of it last year, but it does work in conjunction with, our third-party administrator. The bills are paid separately, not with those biweekly claims. They now come in on a weekly basis. So, that is a carve out, but we just want to make sure that whatever network or TPA that's chosen for next year, that is something that can work in conjunction with, other pharmacy benefit managers or whatever, other insurance companies, whatever it may be.
So open it up, you're gonna get inquiries. I think it's probably something we need to look at because that cost just continues to escalate.
Yes, and I do know that the plan currently right now is for our current broker to come in and give you a stewardship presentation to basically explain to you everything that we have done in the past years and how much money it has saved us and options moving forward with regards to not only network choices, but also different programs in place.
Compared a number of things back over the last 5 years, I can tell you that, about 4.5.
And I know coming from council, the question is, are we always putting it out there to get competitive bids on it? Well, so it's always kind of that in the back of my head, whether, and it's so multifaceted, it makes it a little difficult unless you're changing the whole broker, the whole plan and everything.
I think if you're gonna look at that, I think the information you give out is gonna be a set of information. So you're not constantly giving everyone specific
So then you would
information.
have a package. And say,
Yes.
Here you go.
Yeah.
And,
I think
well,
that's
I
what
need
it-
this, this, and this. Now this is the package you
Yeah,
get.
the information that we're gonna give is in this package. I think that's only fair, otherwise,
Yeah, that's the only way you come up with the same.
well, and then we're not putting in extra strain on our employees by.
Yeah, the level of disruption would have to be taken a look at, obviously. But just the whole thing, as a whole, there's different programs and different things that can be looked at.
We need to sit down with Aaron and identify what we would want to put in a bid package and.
Well, we'd have to have the insurance company know what they want,
Yeah, and that's
a general idea of what they want to see.
it is a very difficult thing to put together because currently what happens on an annual basis is your broker comes in and gives you the different options with regards to network, specialty programs, the stop loss situation, the levels and everything like that. And if you do have somebody coming in promising good prices, there's a chance that could skyrocket year two. And then you're back in the same boat where we need to reconsider because the cost is just too high. So.
I think we did that once.
That's not unusual.
Right.
I give forward those questions that this individual had, and we'll see if we can't come up with a set of questions or information that we could put out if anybody else wants to ask.
electronic highborn for the Board of Aviation. You approved it at the last meeting, Cheryl was here. This was just the actual signing of the
Okay.
appointment page.
We did receive, written documentation from Jim Gibson reservation.
You don't need to do anything since we've already done this, other than just sign it.
Just sign it. Yeah. I have one other thing whenever you guys are done. Okay. So we have our credit card policy.
Yep.
And from what I understand, CB Morgan, pretty good. But the surveyor's office wants to get, somehow he wants to be able to take the vehicle up there and to Jack's Car Wash and get it washed when it needs to. In the past, we found this from 2024, the health department came and requested to use the commissioner's credit card and they purchased a gift card. It was in the amount of $200, and then whenever anybody needed to get a vehicle washed, because they have several, they would just take it and run it through. And because at Jack's, they read your license plates. So unless you have a gift card, you have to set it up for one specific vehicle. So I am asking you, is this what, if I have other departments come to us, because I don't know what any other departments do. Do we want to say they can go ahead and get a $200 gift card? But I think if we do that, I would like to see receipts coming back every time for that.
Yeah, you should get it.
You should.
Yeah.
Should be.
Just similar to any
Gift cards
other
are
time
different
than the credit card. Yeah,
Every time someone gets washed, you're gonna see a receipt and then you strike it off that $200 gift card.
yeah. So if,
You could actually even take that off of so much. Take some of that pressure off of you so that when they want to come back and use the commissioner's credit card to fill it again, okay, show me all your receipts. Now it's down to $10 or $3 or whatever it is, okay? The receipts all match up, okay? And if they don't,
they get it.
well, where's the receipts? You
Yeah.
don't get to do it again.
That's the only office I had asked so far. This was from last year. We had found what the health department did and kind of used that as a guide. Like I said, I don't know what like the sheriff's department does or EMS. I mean, do they wash their own vehicles?
EMS has a wash bay, and then sheriff's department has their,
Sheriff's,
Wash
we have their,
people do it.
people who do it.
I need to watch.
President.
But, yeah, I know building and planning, we're kind of just on our own, so it'd be nice to have a policy. Because we do want to keep those vehicles.
Looking decent, but that also helps maintain.
Yes.
And I could type something up and have you guys approve it as it's all in there.
Yeah.
Just want that also. Or Abby can type something up.
Subscription, if you did one for each vehicle, that way you, when it goes to the vehicle, license plate.
Be a whole bunch.
But you always know which one's getting washed unless you're switching plates.
Well, and if they want to approach Jack's, you can approach them without asking for a fleet.
I don't know if anybody has or not. I can have Abby check into it.
Yeah.
Call Jack's.
Oh.
And see if there's any
See if they
kind
have a
of,
free program.
if they have a free program.
Anything else?
Oh, Austin was wondering about the flags. The Steuben County flags, yeah.
I think so. So we just needed how many of them?
Well, we need to turn in. What was it, Abby? Just,
I talked to him and he said that he went around, but most buildings only have one flagpole.
Yeah.
So you said you just need to decide what you want and how many.
Add flagpoles to, we don't have any in the North Station. Yeah. So, then how many do we want on this campus? We need every flagpole to have one.
And you can always, like, so we only have one flagpole here, right?
Yes, for the community center.
So the,
But the judicial center's got two that we can put one below,
so
so,
put one below the state flag.
yeah. And then I might just count for the complex or the campus.
So I've not noticed, but does the one here have both federal or the US flag and the state flag on it? Or is it just
I
the
can't see, I can't
US
remember.
flag?
But then Scott, you got two out there, but they're,
One at the event center and on the fairgrounds.
you don't have two side by side where we can do the county flag.
The small one's kind of rough at the event center now with that.
Yeah, the event center says,
It should have been bigger.
yes. So maybe you can look at that price again. Cause that one is the best.
And a new one for the American flag and then
Use that one.
use the other one for the state and the federal,
Exactly.
or the state and the county.
Yeah. And then I guess what do we want? What would we want for our station? We need the county flag or just the American state?
The American state.
Okay. All right, I'll let Abby let Austin know that.
Okay.
Sign, see what we have in here.
Do the just American or American?
I think I just did both on this one.
Is what on that one.
Yeah, I wouldn't put three as one, two's okay, three's good.
If we just do one on just the center, that'll be the whole campus. Like,
So do you want Amy to order them now or?
yeah, I don't think that would be that big of a
Okay,
difference.
so how many?
Well, we need 1, 2, 3, 4. That gets us maybe an extra one, which is fine.
Four on one size.
Yeah, we'll have to get with Austin on sizes.
Okay.
He's got the size on that.
6, 3, 5,
Yeah, he's got the
7
sizes.
by 10.
Yeah.
6 by 10.
Okay. All right. Anything? We're recess.
Good.